All right, so moving from streaming and movies to a little bit of music, right? Let's touch on two local, as in Trinbagonian, hip hop albums. I should say a mixtape and an EP that came out last week at the time of recording here. So both representing Southside Lifestyle, we have Profess and we have Micwise. But in the case of Micwise, whose project we reviewed months before, that's Heat 68, and we Hate 6 Heat, sorry, and absolutely love and call it best of the year and all that good stuff. Now he has his long-awaited, collabo EP with John Skweird, formerly known as John, right? He is a R&B slash neo soul singer and a producer as well too. And he has collaborated with Mike on both Leave and a track on Leave and a track on Heat 68, right? But before we get to that, let me just talk about Profess, right? Last time I talked about his previous album, In Other Words. So here he comes with two 16's, which he released on his birthday. Ricardo, you were lucky enough to
it's an homage
to go to his listening party and hear it live and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, the 216s is an homage to his age. So he's 33 now, so he was 32 now.
He was 32 when he recorded the album, which makes sense. Right. Yeah. So on this we have 11 tracks, right? And as a mixtape, it just runs up slightly over a half hour, right? But I'm just gonna run through track by track and share my thoughts on each of them, right? So first off, we have Longevity. I really dug the smooth, mellow R&B-ish kind of beat. I love how it just kind of sets up the tone of the album, where Profess just raps in the hook, all I want to be is a better me, so let me be, you know what I mean? So that whole idea that he's striving for perfection, but he acknowledged that he's not perfect, you know what I mean? He is who he is, right? And he's not gonna switch or change for anybody else, right? And basically he's just talking about just the struggles he had to endure, sacrifices he had to make to ensure the best life for himself and his now 8-year-old son, right? I love in the second verse where he says, my life is filled with common goals and sacrifices. So currently, candlelight dinners is non-existent. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that, as someone like me who, we just trying to keep as much money, in my pocket as possible, I can relate to that, man. And really here where he's just basically talking to his girl, just basically saying that right now he's focused on his on his goals. And he's not really trying to splurge all his money just on fancy food and all that kind of stuff, but he assures her that hard work is gonna pay off and they're gonna reap the rewards. Also the way he spit from a hobby to a habit. I'm just thankful that I'm rapping. I don't care about the fame. I'm just trying to make a classic. I really dug that. So overall, dope track, hell of a great way to open up the mixtape. Any thoughts on Longevity?
Sure, solid opening track. We was digging this one. Rated.
Yeah, and just that beat to it, just so laid back and smooth, man. Now we get Plan Ass Boy, and I was like, went from mellow to dark in like about 3 minutes, boy.
Right, so one of the tracks is a diss track. I don't know the guy.
Yeah, we have 2 diss tracks on this, right? But this is the first one.
Okay, I think I know the guy. All I'll say is that.
Okay. I have a feeling there's somebody y'all know, but I have no clue context who this person is. But yeah.
This one... No, here's the problem. I saw Profess respond. No, I saw someone Profess responded to this guy. So I thought, oh, well, if you did with this guy. And then I saw another person responded with a distractor Profess. So I was like, oh, so wait, Profess in a feud with 2 people or 1? I'm not sure. But I don't know who it is.
Okay. Well, it would make sense if it's 2 people. Like, I'm just speculating here, because you have 2 diss tracks. You're really gonna like spend all your energy like this in the same person, over 2 tracks. I don't know. Just say it, right? Unless he beef like real bitter, whatever. But yeah, this one is dark, is vicious, and he's just taking subliminal shots. Sorry, at a certain someone, right, who dissed him on record. I dug the ticking sound effect that you hear in the back of the mix. I love the organs that they play throughout. Like every time Profess he hears vocals, you just hearing this organ, right? One thing I really appreciate about Profess Dread is that he is not afraid to be like raw and explicit on a song, Dread. Like like normally you would just throw curse words and whatnot that normally we just like it's how to push a trick, it's how to push a certain buttons on a trini for them to just say, "Hold your mother," you know what, right? But you would just see it just to rile this person up, right? And I just love that. Tons of quotes in this. I like where you see big man don't cry for no 16. That's a rape case, an underage sex scene. I was like, whoa, okay. And where he says, last line, this is the true skill of plan assing. Your pen knives can't compete with cutlasses. I speak blunt, then light them up, no puff passing. So go gossip about my name, you can't tarnish. Like, wood. Okay. But yeah, overall it's brutal, it's dark, it's vicious, it's amazing. I also love that you get different sides of Profess on this album. So yeah, you get the motivational I'm working hard for a dream, but you also get if you cross me I will fuck you up Dread. So really dug Planas. Any thoughts on that track?
Yeah. Again, great track. Again, nothing to really write home about per se in terms of it has stayed solid. Like good. I think it is enjoyed. We enjoyed so much. All of this was just over some white oak and a few beers.
So. Okay, so you all will really take it. Oh my god, he just say that? Wow, you know what I mean? I dug it.
Right.
All right, so track number 3 we have So It Go featuring reggae / dancehall artist Reefer King. We get this trap beat with this catchy guitar strum added to it, and Reefer delivers a pretty solid hook in my opinion. And he does a little thing on the final verse for this track, right? And one thing to do is like Profess like real feeling himself on this track here. And while like even though the beat is like real bouncy and stuff like that, personally I would love to see this perform live. You see his focus, right? It's just like I'm just showing you how dope of a MC I am, Trey. Yeah, he throws in some great triplet flows in as well, right? So yeah, while you're bouncing in and all that, he's still hitting you with some solid wordplay, right? So yeah, overall, dog this track. This was pretty solid. All right, so next track we have is Look But Don't Touch. This gives us a smooth, sultry, nocturnal beat, and pretty much it's just about Profess just spot this fine female, and while he's spitting game at she, trying to slide in she DMs and all that kind of stuff. She's all like, "Look But Don't Touch," right? And one thing is like he really want to get with her, and at the end he mentions, well, he says, what am I to do? What am I to do? Already got my girl. I cannot fuck with you, right? So he kind of gets a reminder. Oh shit! I mean, there's my there's my girl now. But still, there's something about this girl that just have him like tizik now. You know what I mean? If you were true Trini slang. Also, I also kind of laugh when he say, "Are you from Venny?" He just sing it too. Are you from Venny? There's something about that that's just so funny because I mean. If you see Venny Gills, if you see Venezuelan Gills, especially if you go down Port of Spain at a certain time, I mean, yeah, right. So just say it. Yeah. But overall, yeah, this is a dope track, man. You know what I mean? Very smooth, very sultry, very sexy. Yeah, it's dope, man.
Yeah.
All right. So next track we have is Fun Fact, right? Featuring Young Fido. This is the shortest track on the album. It runs under 2 minutes. Honestly, this is a song that I wish could have gone a little bit longer though, because like he's going in, right? And it's just wordplay, all that kind of stuff. Beat is solid. Young Fido gives some dope vocals as well. But as soon as you just get into the song, it just ends, right? So because it just clocks another 2 minutes now. So it didn't give me enough for me to be like, yeah, boy, I really, really digging this track, man. It just kind of came and went for me. I mean, it's a dope track, but just a little too quick in my opinion, right? So
same here.
Right. Next track we have is Beat. This is the second and final diss track on the mixtape, right? The beat for this sound like the kind of shit like like in a movie when a crime boss steps into the scene, is that real menacing, like cold, aggressive kind of beat now. And I felt that Profess just matched that vibe perfectly, right? He's throwing subliminal disses. I don't think it's the same person from Planas, but I could be wrong.
Right.
So I love what he says, what's beef when your mouth full of kiss cake? Don't lie, you know you like everything crisp meek. You know what I mean? He even threw a Young Buck reference where I was like, I legit had to stop and Google it just to see it was valid. I didn't even know that even happened. I was like, whoa, you know, but it was like, wow, okay. I even dug the fact how he shout out Chromatics for playing his songs on the radio show that he has on Mondays, the grind, you know what I mean? So he shot them out there. And then he mentioned this performance where that person was there on stage with him and he's expecting he was expecting him and Mike to just be like buddies or some kind of drama like that. Like they was just expecting that he could have just kind of demand their loyalty basically instead of like earning it now. So I would love to know the stuff behind the scenes there, but yeah, overall this was a dope ass structure. So y'all get 2 diss tracks on this one album, on this one mixtape here. Any thoughts on Beto? This was just like, this is just like
plan. Oh no, yeah. No. It was at the front track. Again, I think I know who this one was now. I was like, again, because I think it's two, right? As I say, 2 people. So one of them I kind of know well, you know, I meet him a little more, but the other one I don't know as well. So I was like, all right, let me see. Why does it the thing? I'll like literally I'll wait like months just to ask the question like why that happened that way. I was like, okay, all right, that's why. But yeah, funny as hell, pretty, you know, again, solid distract, good wordplay. I'm a crack it up. So yeah.
Yeah. Nah, it have some real funny bars in this too. Speaking of Micwise, now we get, in my opinion, the best song on the mixtape. Make Noise, right? This is similar to like All It Takes from In Other Words, right? This is that one track where you have Profess and Micwise just not really dueling, but just basking in this beat and just making miracles out of it, right? And this beat though, oh my god, it is heavenly, it's eerie, it's just gorgeous, way, it's so luxurious, right? And you could tell like Professor and Micwise just fall in love with that beat because they just go all in. You could they just gliding over this thing perfectly though. It's flawless, right? Standout bars. I love where Mike says off record mics and stuff, flawless. I'm writing rough. Fire in Amsterdam. Pause. Let him light a Dutch.
Lighter Dutch.
Yeah. Never cease till all felt his Midas touch. Bars filled with lessons you should take away, but you're all in minus much. Like, what? Okay. I love where Professor spits. I stick forks in beef. That's proper mannerism. When I say hold your blood clot, I am speaking aneurysms. As you know, as Anthony Fantano of Neil Drop say, that's a bar. That's a bar, right? He also says, so don't cross me like the Pope Catholic. Sorry. So don't cross me like the Pope Catholic religion. I'm warming up. Just got started like khaki ignition. Rappers want smoke off my muffler in Healy missions, afraid to face Chris, so they emailing disses. And I believe Profess did mention this on Facebook. I believe there's a post where she emailed me a diss. I believe this happened months ago, but I don't know the full context of that. So when I heard it, I was like, oh, okay, right. And then he make a slight reference to, you know, the diss track beat where I was like, yeah, I see what you did there. I see what you did there. But overall, I fuck with this song. This song, actually, like, this is one of my favorite like songs, I should say, of 2020, in my opinion, just off the beat and just off the chemistry that both MCs have on this. I love this song. Any thoughts on Make Noise?
Yeah, my favorite as well. Micwise comes in and just blows it up really, really good. This was the track that I was waiting on. I didn't hear it when I got to him. This was the one that wasn't released online. I just listened to them on YouTube.
Okay. Oh, so he didn't release that on the same day. I was trying to catch up, but you know.
No, it was just, remember, all of them didn't come out at the same time. They had to wait. So it's like, oh, this is coming out in an hour or whatever it was. So by the time I left home, it was, that's all it was. It wasn't like a thing anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Okay, so we have 3 more tracks. We have Scars, which was one of the singles for the album. This features Fari Slim, who we remember, if you listen to In Other Words, he was the one who sung on the track. Farai, right? He sung the hook for, provided vocals, I should say, for Hours Ain't Hours. I thought that his vocals were great. At first, the choppy female vocals and the kind of distorted piano keys throw you off a bit, but then when the drums hit, it's like, okay, now I get it, right? And just makes his song beautiful, but at the same time it's really poignant, right? And really what it's about, it just relates to this true life falling out that he had with his girl. She saw some pictures of his ex on his phone, and she just, got angry at him. And he's just telling her, well, sorry, and that was just past tense things and all that kind of stuff. He goes into detail about the process, about the inspiration, and how he made the song. On his reality art series that he has on YouTube, so I'll put the link to that below.
Right.
But yeah, this is Profess at his most vulnerable, most personal. It can remind me of the 444 title track from Jay-Z's album. You know what I mean? Where it's just like it's not even about me dissing anybody at this point. It's just like, yo, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry, right? So I really dug that, man. It's a solid track in my opinion, but this is one that grows on you with more listeners, especially that beat. Any thoughts on Scars?
Yeah, great. Track, as I say, vulnerable, soft, somber, great, hype.
Yeah. A little apology here. We actually had four tracks overall, four final tracks, but this one is the third to last one, right? This is another single, Family Tree. And essentially this is it's sweet, but it's not syrupy or saccharine, more like a heartfelt dedication to his girl, right? He acknowledges, yes, there's been ups and downs in the relationship, but it's like, what, I'm gonna move forward with you, right? You're my writer there. I love that. The beat is mellow, it's laid back. It doesn't really distract you from what Professor's saying, and overall it's a fine song. It's a really, really fine song in my opinion. Next off we have 16's. Well, the title track here for this mixtape here. Essentially he's using the number 16 as a framework to for the song here. So he's talking about where his life and career took him, right? At 16 he started rapping. Now at the time that he recorded the album he's 32, right? So that's 2 by 16. His son is 8, which is half a 16. He doesn't want to work for 216 a day. And I remember like the first time I hear that, because there's like a whole segment between the first second verses where it's like, boss man, you were 216 a day. I can't work for that, boy. 216, boy. And I was thinking 260, but it's like when I told him, I was like, no, idiot, it's $2.16 a day. Like, oh, right. I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, I mean, why would anyone want to work for $2.16 a day? Like, come on, right? And yet, and basically through the album, we've been getting tracks with 216 verse 16 bar verses, right? So it sticks to the theme of the album itself, right? And in terms of just like winding on the album and just kind of summing up the full circle aspect of the album, like this is where I've been and this is where I'm at right now. I'm still striving to do better, right? This song worked for me, man. Any thoughts on 216's, the track?
Very, very clever, but clever ideas. And I was like, oh yeah, all of these things, because like, oh yeah, his son is really 8 years old. And okay, yeah, and it cut together nice. I appreciate it as well. It's a pretty good album, overall, and then great, nice final track. Yeah, lyrically strong. I dig it.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is the final track is Feet, right? This was another lead single of the album. I really dug how soulful and uplifting the beat is, how bold and confident and determined Profess sounds in this dread. Like, he's coming off as the underdog, dread, but dog, you just really want to see this man win, dread. One line that stuck with me is where he says, "I quit my job to be self-made because I'd rather not be your slave, dread." And that's something like real bold to say to like the average white collar Trinidadian dread, but it's like just a lot of people want to stick in the 9 to 5 and think, oh, everything's gonna be cool. I mean, just work at a shitty job for years. I could pay down on this car and all that kind of stuff, right? But is that decision to say no, I want to make money my way and just pursue my own dreams and live the life I want to live? Not that many people would take that step, dread, and Profess did, and I honestly respect that trend. So this is a dope track. I love the sentiment. I love the message, and this is a hell of a way to end the mixtape here. Any thoughts on Feet?
Well, this is the track I did listen to. That I didn't think it was. I thought the other track was the last track.
Oh, okay, it could have been, but nah, this one,
I listened to. I didn't listen to it in the order you listened to it, the way I put out now. So I thought this was before.
Oh, okay. Now,
Yeah.
I see. Now I see. I got you. I got you.
Right.
Right.
Mm.
In retrospect, though, I would have loved to see like the Pocket Change remix make it there. Like, I don't know, maybe like I don't know if Profess had it in mind or whatever it is. Like maybe it's for another project, maybe Pocket Changey album or whatever it is, right? But yeah, this
Right.
would have been a nice little bonus track to kind of just close things off on a high note. But yeah,
Right.
for what we got here, I think that this is really really solid. Though I actually found myself enjoying this a bit more than in other words. I really see the progress, if you will, in in Professor's writing and just rapping and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean he just stepped his game up here with this one, man. He
Yeah.
really
Mm.
showcased what he's good at. You know what I mean? Whether it's harsh diss tracks or just him being vulnerable or just him opening up about his dreams and his goals and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I was just thoroughly impressed by this man. I mean, not much more I
Yeah.
could say. I'm giving this a strong 4 to 5. Yeah, this is right up there with me. You know, what I mean, in terms of like one of the best projects I've heard this year as far as hip hop goes, as far as local hip hop goes.
Yep.
Yeah, and I just want to see where else he Profess takes his talent and abilities, man. So yeah, I mean, he knocked it out of the park with this one here. Really dug it. Um, I'll put the link to it, of course, so you guys could check it out. But yeah, if you haven't, please check it out. Also, check out In Other Words and yeah, his other stuff as well, man. So yeah, Profess, you hit out the park with this one here for sure, man.
Yeah.
Any last words on
Yeah. Yeah.
two succeeds?
Yeah, no, yeah. Production value was really, really improved overall. Because on it last time, his last album had some little issues with that. It wasn't major, and actually some of it kind of worked in his case. But for the most part, I really, really enjoyed this as well. This just a really solid listen overall. And yeah, great. I appreciate it.
All right. So next off we have is
Right,
Wise Squared, right? Squared as
right,
in Skweirt, right? Awesome spelling, in my opinion, right? This is the debut collabo EP from John Skweird, formerly John Chan. He is a
right,
Trinbagonian singer, songwriter, sound engineer. He has collaborated with Micwise on, Leave and Heat 68, right? And of
right.
course, Micwise, who we've covered Heat 68 already, we've covered Leave already, right? So yeah, this was a collaboration. I was really intrigued by from the moment I saw the first single and video for Fallen
Yeah.
came out. I was like, okay, they doing this thing. It's cool.
That
But
that one small thing that's bothered the hell out of me.
is it what about the video?
Yeah, there's one small nitpicky thing that's bothering me. It's not the audio error, right? That was him just coming in early. Not that.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I'm gonna talk about that. That's
no, no.
that's that's not really an error, though, but I'll get to that. But go ahead.
Yeah, I get, yeah, exactly. So it's not that, but the chess game, it's not progressing. I just watching this chess game. I was like, they're not playing that. uh,
Oh, it's one of those things you don't even think about, like you just see
it's a
these
decision
guys
I would
play.
have made different. Right. No, what happens that the decision I would have made is that I would have like a top shot from the chess game in the video. I'd have a top shot on the chess game and I'd have the actual game progress and then you cut to them playing so the game progresses. But it's like the chess game would have been center stage in the whole thing now. Whatever. It's like no, I'm on the money quarterback. Whatever.
Right, right. No, but
Yeah.
that's a good observation, man. But I really
Yeah.
didn't think about that. I thought you was
Yeah.
gonna say, oh, it's the VHS
No, I don't
filter that they
yeah, I
use.
don't
Yeah.
yeah, I don't like that. I don't mind that. I don't mind that. But the chess game, I find they could have do a little montage, not montage, a time lapse with it or something like that. Well, they could have do something with the chess game because we now watch out the show the Queen's Gambit does. We could have
You
done
know?
some of that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Mm.
everybody riding on that Queen's Gambit train, like, oh my god,
Yeah.
Anyway, right? So this is a 6-track EP, right? We have 3 songs produced by Mike, 3 songs produced by John Skweird, right? And
Yeah.
I'll confess up, right? So the first time I listened to it, normally when I listen to albums, just start casually, you just have it in the background, not really thinking about it all that much. It's just background music, right? I just surfing the net and whatnot, right? And at first, I was like, "This is different." I like the
Yeah.
fact that it is different, but in not roping me in the way it did. And then, boy, I just gave it like three more listens, Dread. I'm like, this is one of the best projects I hear for the year, Dread.
Yeah.
No lie. No bullshit. This is one of the best projects of the year. I'll tell you why in a bit, right? So, what the album essentially is about, Dread, is we have these two artists, Dread, who have a lot of talent, right? Who are gifted in terms of music and whatnot. They know that they are making quality music, Dread. And yet, unfortunately, they, like us, belong in a society that will not even give them the time of day. They will just look at them like, oh, you're a rapper, and, oh, you're an R&B singer, you sing neo soul. What is that? I don't know what it is, right? And it's just basically them like letting us know how they feel as artists, right? And just more or less just taking all that shit that was thrown at them and threw it right back at the critics, right? And the doubters, and the haters, and the vultures, everybody, right? And once that hit with me, but I was like, yeah, I could totally connect with that. I mean, I understand that whole feeling of being a creative person, and like even with this, what you hear right now, and just it just going on deaf ears. Like I can relate to that totally. Just so once that connect with, I was like, yeah, I dig in everything about this, right? So first track we have is Kings and Gods, right? This is produced by Micwise. The beat for this is very laid back, it's very summery, very jazzy, right? And Mike's opening bars pretty much sums up the whole theme of the EP, right? So I'll just read it out. Your mind been conditioned to simply brush aside this rendition, heightened suspicion for that Fantano type criticism, of course, as a reference to Anti-Fantano, right? Yeah. Outsiders in the culture fighting.
Is a pretty bad music critic. Yeah.
You find so?
Yeah, as a music critic, I don't like his very shallow interpretations, in my opinion. He's like a person who jump on late here. However, we'll get. Okay, we had to talk about that later.
I kind of like his reviews though. And one thing is that he just, well, like what I try to do, he will discover projects that kind of went beyond people's radars and give it to listens. Like I know he not like the best out there, but I like what he doing.
No, he's a good,
right. Yeah,
he's a okay. Again, we don't have this argument here, but he's a journalist. No. That's my attitude about Fantano. He's not really that good of a critic to speak of. He's like a journalist, type guy. So you know how to look for projects, but when it comes to actual analysis, something not that I don't think he's that good, to be frank. Very shallow in my opinion. But whatever, it's up to.
I see. I understand. Fair enough. Right? Yeah. So continuing on the opening bars, right? Outsiders in the culture fighting to sit in, just to discredit we sound. That type shit I've been in. Right. And that right there just kind of sums up what to expect with this, right? So basically that the ironic thing about it, because this EP is steeped in irony, right? Is that from an outsider perspective, right? You think, oh well, Micwise is a rapper, and well, the only way for him to get any credibility and praise and whatnot is, well, if he collaborate with a singer, right, with an R&B singer, whatever it is. You think that's how it work down here, but here, no, not really. He would have better luck, and I ain't calling no names. You probably know who I talk about if he collaborates with a soca star. Just saying, it work with a certain someone, and it work.
Right.
But when it comes to like someone outside of soca, not so much, right? So that's just the brutal reality that these guys have to deal with, right? Yeah. So yeah, they kind of come off as a outcast, like the group of sorts, right? But I just like the fact they're just being themselves, right? They're being real, right? And but yeah, overall, this was a hell of a way just to kick the album off, right? Of course, John provides some great vocals near the end where he says, "We are kings and gods in this thing of ours." You know what I mean? Mike, of course, he just destroys his beat. I mean, it's his beat, and he just decimates it. But it's not to the point that John doesn't get his time to shine, and when he does. But he really owns that final verse there, in my opinion. So, yeah, really, really great way to kick things off, man. Now we have track 2, Don't At Me, at as in ampersand, right? If you talk in Facebook, if you're tagging people, right? So I'll get to that. Right. This is produced by John Skweird, right? And he provides this haunting guitar-driven beat for this. He delivers a great opening verse and hook. And how I interpret this is that basically he's talking about how local artists, we ready to speak out and say, oh, I mean, we music not being played, and why it is local stations not playing with stuff and blah 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 blah, right? But when it comes to guys like John and Mike, who in this thing for years and try to get their music out there, those guys like ready to just cast them away too, even though they're in the same boat. But as soon as something happens, it's like, oh well, yeah, everybody have to speak out, Dread. And what's the first thing you're gonna do? Go on social media, kinda, rant about it, and then what? Tag people on it. So, so John is like, yo, don't at me. He says that in the hook track. Like, yeah, just don't tag me on that. He doesn't say tag me, he says don't at me. And that's how I interpret it too. But it could also be interpreted as, well, especially with Mike, who isn't afraid to talk about, just the reality of being in Trinidad, in crime and all that kind of stuff. And, you're ready to like point fingers and say, oh, he's, promoting negativity, and, he's just creating art out of people's misery and all that kind of stuff. How could he do that? But the second somebody get killed or whatever, it's like, oh, we should speak out, and why aren't these guys talking about it? You know what I mean? And right. So that's what it is. That's why I took from it. Mike, however, he delivers a passionate verse. And what I know is that it more or less touches on, well, hypocrisy, right? Which is one of the media teams offer Pete succeed, right? So talks about how he's accused of promoting negative stereotypes, but the funny thing is that because he's a rapper, it's easy to pinpoint and say, oh, that's what you do. You know what I mean? You just talk about guns and crime because you're a rapper, right? That's what rappers do, right? And he's like, no, you just talk about real shit, right? And sorry, there are many people in Trinidad want to hear about facts, right? Don't want to hear that when it comes to local music. But yeah, overall, this is a powerful song for me. It resonated with me, especially that beat, the guitar strums on that beat. Oh my god! So yeah, love this song. This is one that gets better with every listen. So track number 3, we have No Rest, right, which is produced by Micwise. I dug the moody, dramatic, very dramatic, soulful vibe of the beat here. And Mike just kicks off the song instantly with this fiery verse. He's just talking about his grind, you know what I mean? He wanted to be a great rapper, but he doesn't want to sleep now because he doesn't want to get knocked off by rivals or haters. So it's kind of like Nas saying, "I never sleep, but because sleep is the cousin of death." That kind of vibe that he going with, right? He uses some religious iconography to express his thoughts on the rap game. So he says, far from divine shit, of course. You need to watch your own circles too for any sign of a cross. Them Judases, when you find them, you toss, claiming that they barely fed, scheming on your daily bread. Like, okay. And John compliments it with perfectly, I should say, with a chorus / outro, which pretty much sums up pretty much see that he on the same mindset with Mike. He on the same boat with him. They all about trying to be as perfect as they can as artists, right? And they're not willing to rest, right? I love how he has this sort of freestyle, kind of off the cuff kind of dance or like cadences. So you'll throw in a little bit of humor as well too. So he says, boy, you never know you could have grind. Me not really. Just good at grinding. I out here since 1990 something, right? I love at the end when he says, no rest for the wickedest. I'm the wickedest, so no rest. You know what I mean? So that's the way how he says it. I know I'm butchering the lines here, but the way how he says it here, it just has this kind of stream of consciousness kind of flow to it that I really, really dug that. So great track here. Now we have the single that you were referring to earlier, Fallen, right? Which is produced by John Skweird, right? John's beat is very mellow. It has this sort of trap bass vibe to it. Has some synth keys in the background and some hard drums. And I love how Mike's intro kind of bring to light the whole cynicism thrown at him. He talk about, well, I really feel like I reach where I need to reach yet, and all people still hate on me. So, imagine what gonna happen when I actually make it there. You know what I mean? And that's like really something to think about when you really think about it, right? So the fake out, that's what you'd say was the audio error, is a fake out actually. Kind of like how okay, so forgive the reference here, like how Drake did for Started from the Bottom. Where he starts with started, and then you hear the watermark, and then he goes to the started from the bottom, now we're here. So something like that. And it's like he just kind of he just kind of fake you out a bit, and then he goes in there. And speaking of going in, boy, he goes in on this thread. He snaps on this beat. Like, tons of triplet flows here. And yeah, basically what you're just talking about is, yeah, just being looked down upon as being a local rapper, right? He has some great quotes, like where he spits, no weak shit I scribble, to the beats I'm a sizzle. Still you respond to my dreams with a giggle. How could this young motherfucking Trini try to step in the culture and keep shit official? Like, yeah. Loving this, right? I love how John compliments him in the end with this sort of nonchalant kind of hook where he says, you won't get nothing from seeing me falling. And he just keeps saying that. And, you know, it has a mantra kind of feel to it, but the way how John delivers it is just like, yeah, I mean, we gonna have we downs and ups too, you know, but you don't have to worry about me. We're gonna keep doing this, you know what I mean? So yeah, I just love that. It's just like kind of brushing off the dirt off his shoulders. Like, yeah, you ain't gonna really benefit from us falling. We gonna get back up. That's how it is. Any thoughts on falling?
Yeah, great track. Good thing. I misinterpreted the thing. I thought it was a kind of error. Is it how it sound like in the case of, yes, you're comparing it to Drake, but that sounded intentional while this sounded like an error. But I don't know if it's my bias.
Yeah,
He's or if it is.
it's intentional, but the Drake thing could be. Sorry, the Drake thing could be unintentional. Well, for all we know, but this one here in this song here, it's purely intentional.
Right. But as I say, you know, I could be now accused of the same, the same things that Micwise has been complaining about with local people. Look, you know.
All right, next track we have is Forest of Dreams, right? This is produced by John, right? The beat for this is hazy. It has some disenchanted piano keys. It has this old school hip hop breakbeat here. And I love basically he just kicks off the song with this beautifully bluesy opening verse, right? It also shows up after Mike's verse, right? So basically he's talking about his forest of dreams, right? This mental sanctuary where, you know, his achievements could only go as far as his own imagination. So it's kind of like a place of retreat as well too, when, you know, life hits him hard now. Just like, leave me alone in my forest of dreams. I love that. And I love the fact that he just kind of crazy sense that he accepts the fact that he is lonely. He's all alone in this place, and he really couldn't have it any other way, honestly, in my opinion, right? I dug how Mike comes in with a really sharp and cynical verse, so he pictures himself as an animal in the wilderness. So he's just kind of like just seeing through all the lies, all the BS, all the praise, false praise through at him, right? But he finds his hope and strength in his own abilities, in his potential, and in his forest of dreams as well. You know what I mean? So it's haunting, it's poignant, it's beautiful. Yeah, dope track. I really, really love this track.
Yeah.
And now, whew, hell of a way to end this album off by Mickey and Mallory. This is produced by Micwise, right? And, you know, if you know your 90s cinema, this is a reference to Mickey and Mallory Knox, aka Woody Harrelson and Juliette Moore from Natural Born Killers, right? And before you take it, this is about John and Mike. It's like, nope, not really. But we'll get to what it's about in a bit, right? So Mike provides this really lush, jazzy instrumental. It has some looped soul vocals added to it. And it just has this sort of nocturnal kind of riding music vibe to, like, you could just rock back in your car and just nod your head to it, right? And yeah, I'm a fan of that kind of music anyway, right? So the title is brought up in a section of Mike's verse, which is "Miss me with fallacies, this shit be insanity. Verses scribble on paper, holy is the anatomy. That means it's God body. Bars will be in Calvary. You could get killed by a couple, no Mickey and Mallory." I'm like, that's a bar, you know what I mean? That is some bars. That's some bars, right? But what I love about this track too, like, yes, I mean, Mike come through with a fiery verse, he kill a dread. But it's really John who steal the whole show, Trent. And how is it about, like, how to picture it really is that as a whole, they're just using this beat, like they both need element in this, right? So just using this as sort of like this cynical way to kind of lash back at the haters, to lash back at the doubters, right? So you have this really smooth laid back beat and they just go in on it, like they just go hard at the haters, right? So John,
right.
so like if you just picture it, like just imagine him at this sort of like lounge club or whatever it is, just performing, right? And when John comes in, you know what I mean? I love when he just comes in with John Skweird and Mike again. You know what I mean? Almost like they just entertain the audience there. And they're all like, yeah, for all of them who just hate on us all these years, Red, fuck all you. Right? And I could just like imagine like people in the club just getting offended and just walking out. And just have one man who just sitting down just clapping like, yes, preach, preach. That's how that song feels like, Trey. Like this is them just going in, Trey. Like haul your mother, all that kind of stuff, right? Love how um how John say, you know, Matix can't be the only man playing the music, man. Kenny can't be the only man playing the music, man.
Right.
Like it's funny, but it just has this bitter, dark humor to it, and it just hits, right? I know not a lot of people will like this because of the cussing that goes on, but I just think the fact that they were just like, no, we don't care. This is the end of the album. This is what we're gonna do. This is gonna hit your heart with this trend. And like for me, I was just like, yeah, I love it. I love the beat. I love the lyrics. I love John's contribution to this. Love this song. Hell of a way to end the album off.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. So in short, boy, yeah, it took my it is only like I say, first time you have it in the background, it's just like, oh well, kind of like jazzy beats, not really anything to go crazy over. I mean, there's Mike's expecting flames, but still too laid back for me. But when I really dug into the lyrics and what these guys are saying here, that's when it hit. That's when it really connect with me. And I would say, if you are a struggling artist, right, if you know what it is to be a creative and just have your work just be ignored or just like, oh, well, it's not Trini, it's not flavor of the month, we don't need this. Like in my case, we don't need films criticism unless it's about Trini films, right? Or we don't need rap music from Trinidad because we already have American rap music. We don't need neo soul because we have all these songs from like the 90s and 2000s. Like, no, you have all these creative people in here, Trinidad, just trying to get the stuff out there, just trying to get people to listen, you know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, it's a struggle, man, you know what I mean? But you know, once you just have that willingness to just keep grinding, to keep getting better at your craft, then yeah, one day you're gonna make it, and you're just gonna look back at the haters like, yeah, just just put two middle fingers up in the air at them, and this to me is just at the heart of what White Square is about. Two dope ass artists, just flipping the bird at everyone, but more or less showcasing their skills on the boards, behind the mic, all that good stuff, So yeah, I really, really dug this too. This is one of my favorite EPs of 2020, one of my favorite projects of 2020. Bar none, this gets a light 4.5 out of 5 for me, man. This is a absolute listen. Not many people will like it, especially when it comes to the language of this, but trust me, if you struggle, Dread, and if you just know that you're the shit, Dread, and you have to deal with people just ignoring you all the time, Dread, I don't blame you, just going hard at those same folks, Dread. So yeah, absolute must listen. John Skweird, Micwise, y'all knocked it out the park with this one here. This is going to be showing up on my best off for sure. Nice. Ricardo, I don't know if you listen to this, but this, yeah, dude, like listen to this, man, please. To all y'all who thinking that local music is just all about soca, listen to this. If y'all don't like what they say, well, that's all your problem, but I am 100% on board with this. Love this album. Sorry, love this EP. Not much more I can say.
Nice one.